Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I've been really excited to remodel the Ophelia Villa or the Goth family mansion. This is another Victorian style mansion, and in kind of trying to keep with that, I was going to remodel, but I think I ended up just leveling everything to the ground up. These were two of my inspiration photos for the mansion redo, and it was important to me to do like a Gothic American mansion, I guess, style. So Gothic Victorian homes are like a category of Victorian homes, which are called the Gothic Revival. And there are four distinct categories of Victorian homes, which include Queen Anne. And if you're in or around Seattle, there's actually an area called Queen Anne, and those homes probably give you a good idea of what those would look like. There's the Italiante or Italianate, I don't know how to say that, the Stick Eastlake, and then the Gothic Revival. And obviously, since the family's last name is Goth, I thought, well, obviously the house needed to be a Gothic Revival Victorian. And then the Gothic Revival Victorian is what most people picture in their minds when they're thinking of Gothic architecture. So for decades, the style has been made iconic in popular culture. So think of the Addams Family Mansion or Norman Bates' home in Psycho. But not all Gothic Victorians are spooky and full of cobwebs, obviously. The style of architecture was adopted widely across America throughout the 19th century in schools, libraries, churches, and of course, homes for those who could afford to build them. So what defines a Gothic Revival Victorian? A true Gothic Revival style Victorian will come out of a mid-19th century, which was a time in America, in American architecture, where they were fascinated with medieval aesthetics and design. It was a romantic time. If you had the resources, you could build a countryside home that made a statement. Sometimes these Gothic Revival Victorians would be positioned outside of the city with ornate, sweeping features that matched the natural environment around it, positioned from a vantage point to see the nearby town below. Their placement clearly gave them a sense of stature and prominence. So if you think of like Sims 2, where I think it was Sims 2, it might have been Sims 3, where the family home, where they were saying like, oh, the Goths founded the city, and their house was kind of just outside of the town, and kind of overlooking. So that's kind of what they're saying here. And so I got off track. Some of the design features that signify a Gothic Revival Victorian are multiple pointed arches, steeply pitched roofs, towers with parapets and lookout access, decorative molding, gables and trim, and a distinctive location. So that's kind of what we're talking about. So let's see. The other thing I kind of pulled up was a history on the Goth family, because I have been playing since the original Sims. I definitely played original Sims the most. I think I had a copy of Sims 2 in college, dating myself. And then I had Sims 3 briefly with an older computer, and then, here we are, Sims 4. So, and I do appreciate that the Goth family has been part of every one of those iterations. The Goth family that I remember had Mortimer and Bella and Cassandra, and that house was one of my favorites. In the game, I would play that one a lot. In let's see, the Sims 3, it says the family lives in Sunset Valley, which is set around 50 years before The Sims 2 and 25 years of Sims. And I think that was like when like Mortimer and Bella aren't married yet. So anyway, yes, so this is the one. In the description of Sunset Valley, we learn that the town was founded by the Goths and built up by the land grabs. I don't know how to say that either. The uptown ideals of the new Alto family clashed with the more traditional view of the Goths, forcing the townspeople to choose sides. However, this is contradicted by the fact that the Goths start as friends with Vita Alto. Let's see. I know I had a lot of add-on packs for The Sims 3. Let's see. And then in The Sims 4, the Goth family appears again in The Sims 4, living in Willow Creek. This is where we're building. The family consists of an adult Mortimer, Bella, who in this incarnation is younger than her husband, starting as a young adult. A teenage Cassandra, and Alexander, who is a child. The Sims 4 is officially considered an alternate universe from the previous installments of the game, which explains the age discrepancy of the characters compared to previous releases. Let's see. This is the first Goth home belonging to the core family members not to feature a graveyard on the premises. So that was something that I really wanted to fix. And so I decided to make a little space around back, and I don't think I've gotten there yet. I also really struggled with the roof line for this project. I think I did it a couple of times. I wanted there to be several like parapets. I think I was only able to do 2. I also wanted there to be like stained glass windows, and I had like a picture in my mind of how I wanted it to work. I don't think I was ever able to get it to look exactly how I wanted it to, but I do think in the end I did come up with something that I liked. And I also wanted there to be a greenhouse because I kind of think of Bella as being kind of like Morticia Addams, not obviously everything like her, but I kind of like the image of Morticia like cutting the heads off of the roses in their, I think it was like a greenhouse. Something like that. Anyway, so I wanted there to be a greenhouse. Definitely want to hire them like a butler, and see if I can make him look like Lurch, but that's for later. And let's see. Yeah. I also just couldn't bring myself to do black windows. So like I did want it to be like a darker building with black roof, gray walls. But I just thought that the white kind of made it look a little more, I don't know, interesting visually. Okay, and then here's where, so I just had a little space around back, and I wanted to put in just a little small graveyard because I just feel very strongly that the Goth family should always have a graveyard on the premises. And then I think I also put some urns inside, but I had to split this video up because this took me several weeks, and therefore, several hours over those weeks to complete and get to where I liked it. I also had a couple of glitch issues where I had to I would finish a very large section and then have to go back and do it again. So anyway, this took a very long time to do. And so I think this is going to be split up over 3 or 4 videos, but I got all of the exterior into this one. And so I tried to make like just a little decorative area behind the house, a little bit closed off, and also tried doing a little bit of terrain manipulation just to make it just more visually appealing. And then also wanted there to be kind of 2 entrances, I guess. And this was purely for like a turn of the century where like maybe this is where the servant staff would enter in the kitchen area, and then like a front entrance for the family. And obviously you can't change the time frame for the game because everyone has cell phones. But this is kind of where I was going with that. A little bit modern, but also similar to what the original house has. I did not put in like a TV room. Now but the children have computers. The youngest has a tablet. So another thing is that when I very first got the game, I had not had the settings so that the families that were placed wouldn't like kind of live on their, or they would live on their own. They wouldn't live on their own. And so for some reason, I came to this house and Bella and Mortimer had like 6 children or some ridiculous amount of children. And so I think at one point you might see there's like a baby crib on the premises while I'm building. And I deleted, did not kill, but I deleted a bunch of the extraneous children and left one. Just for, I mean, if they want to have more kids after this, I did put in more bedrooms, but I was just trying to kind of bring things back. Also, side note, this had also happened to the Pancake family. I had to go into the game and find them because they moved to another city. And so I was very confused at one point, but then that's when I realized I needed to fix the feature and make it so that the families wouldn't play while I wasn't using them. So this was the final roof line. I think I had to cut some of the video parts out where I figured out the roof. I also had the foundation very, very high off the ground. And so I think at the end, I decided to bring it down just a little bit. I was also not going to do like flowers like on the windows sills, but then I changed my mind because I thought it looked kind of pretty and just a little more elegant and refined. And let's see. Yeah, so this is the exterior. I think it turned out really well for, being a smaller space. And I hope you come back and check out the rest of the mansion next week.